Okay, I'm home and I need to eat immediately. So we are stronger, we are more resilient than we think we are. Shit. Big thing I focused on during pregnancy with training. How we are looking. Pretty much 9 months pregnant. Okay, I'm going for one more. Get baked, but what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and today's quite an exciting one because I am taking you to the gym with me. So I am 35 plus 5 days pregnant, which means I'm officially 2 days off of being a full 9 months pregnant, which is like crazy, absolutely crazy to me. But obviously I am a coach. I'm pre and postnatal qualified. I have trained throughout my whole pregnancy. So I want to take you along and I want to show you kind of what a typical session will look like for me at the moment. And I'm also, as I take you with me, gonna just share like what I have been doing, do's and don'ts, things you probably want to be a little bit more conscious of. But yeah, on the whole, I'm super lucky to have continued training. But I say super lucky, I've obviously had a very straightforward pregnancy. I've had no complications, but I have also been quite bullheaded with it in a sense of I made a promise to myself when I fell pregnant that I was going to stay active and I was going to keep doing what I could do when it came to training. And there've been times when that's been really fucking hard. I'm not going to lie to you, like energy levels, not it. But yeah, I'm really proud that I have continued training as consistently as I have. So stay tuned for that. But first, I ain't going to the gym without having a decent meal beforehand. That is like 101 rule when pregnancy is like, do not train on an empty stomach. So I'm gonna make breakfast, show you what I'm having for breakfast, and then yeah, we will be heading out not long after. So we are having oats. Oats were actually really hit or miss for me when I was in my first trimester, and I've been on and off them a little bit, but I did really fancy them this morning. So a hack, if you want to get the most out of volume. So this is 60 grams of oats. I first cooked these when I first got up this morning and made a cup of tea. So 60 grams of oats, over watering them quite a lot. They then cook, they absorb loads of water, and then you cook them again an hour or two later once they've properly cooled. Game changer. So I'm literally gonna have this with some protein powder, some frozen fruit, and a little bit of yogurt. And then I'm probably gonna wait about an hour and a half before I do go to the gym. Probably get the dog out for a walk, do a little bit more work just to let the oats, obviously oats are quite like slow digesting. Make sure they've digested and have actually hit my system before I'm getting in the gym.
You said you never had the real estate to love somebody else. I was rolling on the interstate, chasing something I thought we both felt.
So I have just popped that back in the microwave just for a little blitz to melt the berries a little bit, and I'm going to take my supplements. So I did a full day of eating 2 videos ago. Go back and watch it if not, where I talk about the supplements and the type and the brand of supplements that I'm using. But essentially I've got a prenatal, omega-3, vitamin D, magnesium and psyllium husk. And I always take those with breakfast so that I digest them properly, absorb them properly, and also so I don't forget, because this gal ain't forgetting to have breakfast, therefore I won't forget to have my supplements, you know? Go math. The finishing touch, if you don't know this yogurt, get to know the baked apple skier, literally the best yogurt you will ever have. So just getting those out of the microwave now. A little bit of apple yogurt on top. And wham bam, thank you ma'am. This is going to hit a spot. So I am going to enjoy this now, and then I will check back in with you when I am heading to the gym. Name something better than a crisp pink lady straight out the fridge. People who say they don't like fruit, shit. Oh dear. I'm gonna have a bit of a bruise on like that one. I'll leave that one for Jake. People who say They don't like fruit. I don't believe them. Because I could just eat fruit all day, every day. Anyway, I'm having something a little bit more to eat. Feeling a little bit sicky. I'm finding this recently, last couple of weeks. Bit more nauseous, like not really bad, like I'm gonna be sick, but just like a bit like, not thriving. So yeah, gym's gonna be fun. I'm literally gonna have this. I am pretty much ready to go out the door. I've got my Stanley full of water. I'm gonna try and not get gym anxiety and get as much footage as possible. The gym that I train in, people film all the time, but the lighting isn't great. So if you suddenly feel like you've been transported to a nightclub, that's because the lighting is absolutely shocking. But we're doing an upper body session today. So an upper body with some core. And I thought this would be a good session to show you because I feel like core work gets a really bad rep when you're pregnant. Even just like, I know before I kind of properly educated myself on pregnancy and the adaptations and things that you probably need to make, my like instinct was like, don't do any core work, like don't do, you know, and I guess you're kind of lumping together things like sit-ups and crunches and all of that in one. They are very different, like doing direct kind of like ab work to just like core work, breath work, engaging your core, having a really strong core. So I'm going to show you and talk you through some of the movements that I have been doing quite consistently through my whole pregnancy and still feeling really, really good. But yeah, I'm going to jump in the car now, head to the gym. It shouldn't be too long of a session. Upper body, core, I'm usually kind of in and out of the gym within about an hour at max, and that's usually doing like 10 minutes of walking on a treadmill as well. So I've just pulled up at the gym and I've realised I didn't bring my headphones or a claw clip or a bobble. Love that for me. Can I blame baby brain? I feel like I can at this point, can't I? Definitely blaming baby brain. But yeah, let's get it done. Let's get in there, get out, because I'm already excited for lunch. Okay, so we are starting off strong with some straight arm pull downs. One of my favourite movements just to really engage the lats. Big thing I focused on during pregnancy with training is working my back. Obviously gravity has shifted, my boobs are enormous, I have this huge bump now. I want to make sure that my back is nice and strong to accommodate that. The reason people get a lot of back pain a lot of the time during pregnancy is because they have more load at their front and they don't have the strength behind them to carry that. So straight arm pull down, I'm going to go then into a face pull, and then I'm doing some lat pull downs as well. So they're kind of like my 3 back movements today. A little bit of a full upper body. As I said, I'm doing core as well, so it's not like a super long upper body section of the workout, but it gets the job done. Really regretting not having a hair tie or a claw clip with me. 2 more. Switch out the bar for the rope for some fist bumps. Also, just a little side note for anybody that feels a little bit anxious training in the gym. I just had a interaction with 2 really nice guys where they were just like, what are you filming for? And I was like, YouTube, social media. And they were like, good on you. He was like, I just started doing that recently. And it's dead awkward and uncomfortable, isn't it, when you first start? But like, I'm here for it. Like, keep smashing it. And I was like, thanks. The people who care about their training and are here for the right reasons will look at you and be like, good on them. Is it a bit awkward? Do I look like I'm literally just talking to myself right now in the middle of a busy gym? Yes, but gotta do what you gotta do, girlies. Two more. The idea that pregnant ladies shouldn't lift over think it's £10 used to be the really outdated recommendation, is beyond me. You'll notice that like I am pushing the intensity to some degree, and like that's me knowing my limits. Like that's me understanding that I am able to push to a degree, but like there's only, you know, I'm not going for new PBs. Like I know I'm capable of lifting this weight, and a lot of it is just down to like my energy levels. So if you are pregnant and you're worried about training with intensity, you can train somewhat intensely. And actually there have been a lot more studies recently on athletes, like pregnant athletes, who are doing even like 1 rep maxes and seeing that, you know, they're I don't quite know the mechanisms, but they're basically tracking their heart rate and the baby's heart rate at the same time, and there is no negative indication that even them pushing to their max has any kind of negative impact on the baby. And I think it's just that reminder that like we are stronger, we are more resilient than we think we are, and our babies are as well. You know, there's a lot of research around those who train consistently during pregnancy have like a higher pain threshold, therefore they manage and cope with labour better, but also their babies do as well, because you've kind of almost conditioned to them that a little bit more before they enter the world. It's fascinating. I'd highly recommend just like having a little, if you're interested in that, have a read of some of the research of what's around at the moment, because it is really, really good. We are now doing lat pull down. So I'm tending to do sort of like 3 sets, lat pull down, working within rep ranges of like 10 to 15. I tend to find that's a pretty happy medium, and I've managed to maintain the weight that I was lifting pre-pregnancy. I'm not looking to progress at the moment, I am just looking to kind of stay the same. Sometimes I have to mediate, I have to go a little bit lighter, other days I feel like I can do like a little bit more. But I'm not coming into sessions being like, I need to add weight, I need to do more. I'm just very much listening to how my body feels on that day. One more. Okay, seated Arnold press. Big fan of this movement, my clients will know. We love an Arnie P. We absolutely love an Arnie P. Again, I have maintained the weight that I'm doing on these. It is a little bit lighter than when I fell pregnant. I think naturally pressing above your head, but I am pushing, sticking with the 10 kilos now. I'm not letting myself get any lower. I am not going lighter than 10 kilos. And I tend to shoot for like, again, 10 to 15 reps with this. The last few times I've been lucky if I've got 12. I'm not gonna lie to you. So yeah, I'm definitely feeling this one a little bit more. 11. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm going for one more. We can do 14. Right, fuck it, I'm going for 15. That was tough. One thing that I haven't mentioned is just generally having to take slightly longer rests is a thing. You will be more breathless. even like, it's become a bit of a running joke actually in client check-ins when I give video feedback. If I'm just like talking, there's a point where I'm like, the breathlessness of pregnancy is real. Not even like as you get bigger. Like I know in my first trimester, I was probably just as breathless. I say just as breathless, I'm definitely more breathless now. But yeah, the breathlessness is real. You do get out of breath a little bit more. You do sometimes just need a little bit longer in between sets to get your heart rate to come back down, settle everything before going again. So yeah, don't worry if your sessions are taking you like a little bit longer. I think that's completely normal. Lateral raises. One of my absolute faves. For the old doubts, I do need a little bit more of a rest before I start that set though. Am I the only person that plans out what I'm having for post-workout / lunch when I'm actually in the gym? Usually I know before then, I'll be honest, but I'm literally just sat here being like, what do I fancy? Last upper body exercise, and then I'm going to finish off with a little bit of core, and that will be. Lighting is okay in this area. So core work in pregnancy does get quite a bad rap. People will be like, remove all core work, remove all ab work. But actually you just need to be a little bit smarter with the way that you're training it. A strong core is actually really quite important. Kind of the same thing that I was saying about your back. You want to have those muscles as strong as possible to support your growing baby. You don't want to overtrain them, because that's where you can kind of lead to things like diastasis recti. You know, you're going to get that regardless. Like 100% of pregnant women will have that by the end of their pregnancy, but you don't want to exacerbate it. You don't want to make it worse. So I find even just like connecting with your core through breath work is a really, really great place to start. So before I do any core work, I call them hug the babies. I'm sure they have a more technical term, but it's essentially like a deep exhale where you're really releasing your pelvic floor. Hence why I had to go to the toilet before I did these, because I can't do these if I need a wee. Really, really release your pelvic floor, and then think about drawing up and breathing in and hugging your baby with your core muscles. So just to demonstrate, on all fours, I'm gonna inhale, really, really relaxing my pelvic floor. So, and exhale, thinking about hugging the baby with my core muscles. So, getting really good at that sensation actually sets you up to perform core movements really well as well, because before I do anything, I will practice that a little bit just to make sure that everything's connected. So I'll always start with those, and then today all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some like planks on all fours. I'm going to do a marching bridge standing, and I'm also just going to do some side bends. Really simple. I'm not overloading them too much. I'm not doing it to a point of like discomfort. It's just, for me, it's connecting with my core more than anything. So yeah, now that I've done a little bit of that and I feel like I'm connected, I am going to go into my plank on all fours, which has been one of my favourite movements throughout pregnancy for core work. Okay, another favourite during pregnancy is just a standing marching bridge. So it's no secret that your centre of gravity changes quite a lot during pregnancy. So your balance and your core being part of keeping strong balance is really important. So I started doing these probably around like weeks 16-ish, just incorporating them a little bit more. And again, it's just keeping that consistency. I've not increased the weight or the amount of reps I'm doing with them. I just focus on my breath, making sure that my core's nice and engaged and that my balance is on point when I'm doing them. Side, bish, bash, bosh. And final one, we are going to finish off with just some side bends. So these are really good for the obliques. Again, I'm not overstretching, I'm not overreaching. I'm just going to a point that feels good. I've just got, this is just 8 kilos, so not super heavy. You're just keeping, again, exhale, relax the pelvic floor, relax that belly. Inhale. Not a huge range of motion here, but I can feel it all down here in a good way. And there you have it. My program's workouts haven't actually changed a huge amount since I've been pregnant. That's like a very classic upper core day. As I said at the start, I'm training 4 days a week, typically an upper body, a full body, today's session, which is an upper core, and then a lower body glute focused. I am also trying to do a Pilates session a week, but that doesn't always work out just with the timings. I've done that for a couple of weeks, but I'm hoping the last couple of weeks of pregnancy I'll be quite consistent with that. And then just staying active. You know, I'm probably averaging about 12k steps a day. Some days a little bit more, some days a little bit less, but yeah, on the whole, feeling really good. Anyway, I am going to jump on the treadmill now and just do 10 minutes while I respond to some client messages, and then I am going to head home and I will show you what I'm having as my post-workout lunch. I just thought we could finish off with a little physique update. It's a little bit of a different one, but this is how we are looking. Pretty much 9 months pregnant. We're hanging on to that muscle with dear life, but I'm proud. I am. I'm hella proud of us. I think we've done quite well to get to this point. Okay, I'm home and I need to eat immediately, so I'm just having something really quick. I have just come home to some treats though. Get baked Bert.
Do you want to read out the
white chocolate? It was actually our anniversary yesterday, and it says, Kate, happy anniversary. You said no more get baked, but I know you didn't mean it, so. And then a whole Bertha pie.
Unnecessary?
A little bit unnecessary. But anyway, I'm literally just having some pre-cooked chicken, whole packet of rice, some peas, and then I'm going to have some sriracha, cucumbers, and scran. And yeah, I'll show you the finished product. And that is it, a big old bowl of goodness. I'm going to scran this, and I'm also going to leave this video here. So if you liked it, make sure you subscribed. If you want to see more training, I'm going to document a lot of postpartum, but if you quite like seeing some of the pregnancy stuff while I'm still pregnant, I will do my best. And yeah, I will catch you in the next one.